What are we doing right now? We're going skiing!
We're getting franked, man.
Getting franked.
Yeah! Yeah! The Franken Traverse. Yeah, it's a story of traveling through a forgotten landscape and stitching together islands of mountains and snow. It's a story of overcoming physical and mental challenges. You know, we were all really attracted to the Traverse, not necessarily for the skiing, but just for that unknown. I mean, there are no blogs, there's no guidebooks for skiing in the Frank, you know, and that's really for a great reason. Accessing those mountains, it's a logistical nightmare and time-consuming, to say the least. You know, but you get filled with a sense of place and gratitude, and it seeps into the deepest part of your soul. You get to wake up every morning, and you have no idea what lies ahead. And if you're lucky, maybe, just maybe, the Frank might let you have a few ski descents for you to remember during those long, hot, smoky dog days of summer.
Frank Church is one of the few places in the United States that actually is becoming more remote, more wild, less people. Like, that's really hard to find in today's world. I feel like it's superficial to talk about how far it is, or like how much acreage it is, or whatnot. Like that kind of statistic, it's inadequate, because that's what makes the place so cool. Is like, yeah, there might be some big numbers or something, but really there's like nothing that's that remarkable visually or like on paper or that you see at first glance. But you have to be able to get beneath those superficial layers and be willing to like spend the time there. And when you do, that's when the line of the map comes out. That's when like everything pops out, and that's when it really truly seems remarkable, because you have to go through this process of humility and feeling small in a big place where like you're not the big kid on the block anymore.
Yeah, that was like what attracted me to this trip in the first place. Was that like I have really no idea what this is going to be like. This is a total blank spot, and that's just like an attractive idea to me. I like exploration.
Yeah, we live in a world, right, where there's so much information out there. I can figure out what it's like to go ski, you know, the Grand Teton in January, because I can look it up. And curiosity will kill us, and we're trained to like search the internet for information before we go on these trips, right? People would think we were idiots if you didn't do your like pre-trip planning, right? We chastise people for not finding out the right information. Whereas here, there was no right information.
Yeah.
Like, the right information was like, show up, you know, be fit, bring enough food for the trip, and then add 2 days, bring enough clothes for the trip, add just a little bit more, and then like, yeah, bring your curiosity and be comfortable, or be able to cope with the uncertainty.
Go.
Can you see that? So, snapped the rail on my binding, both sides. So the only thing that's currently holding this together right now is the top plate. And we've still got about 27 miles to get out of here. So we've come up with an ingenious plan to use our titanium sticks. And we're gonna try and build a splint for this thing and hopefully limp it to the finish line. Gotta have the belay strap. All right, there you have it. Splinting 101 from the Frank Church.
Making our way! Taking away the moments that make up the dull day. Doing it! Ability to be here. Extremely grateful right now. One of your earlier questions is being like, it's full committal. Like when you're on day 4, like it's like you kind of gotta tone down. Your ego takes such a beating that you really have to tone down your skiing to like just getting out. You know, like there is no Hollywood style. It's just like, you know, do it. I don't know. And I think having that sense of being so remote, it adds a little extra edge. It's kind of like when you go hiking in grizzly country by yourself without bear spray. Like you're on edge. You know what I mean? And like it kind of gets like that when you're on day 4 and you're like something, a twisted ankle. Like it could be that could be the end. You know, it can be really bad. You know, like the most minor things can exponentially blow up, I guess. Yeah, I remember that night when we got into Rush Creek. That was day 5, right? Yeah.
Remember we ended the day early because it was like, well, we got just such shitty travel ahead of us or shitty travel behind us.
Right.
Like we're gonna have to pace ourselves. Like might not make it out of here in the same schedule that we once thought. Like, right. This is a lot harder than we perceived when we looked at the map, when we thought about what it would look like, when we looked at Google Earth.
when we were on that Black Pole Ridge, that was brutal. Like, it was just the brush, like it just kind of, it's just beating you down, and like going through those lodge poles. It was just, I had to stop and like I just had to chill. And
it was hard too, like managing your emotions. Like, for instance, we're walking on Black Pole and it really sucks, and we're skinning and it really sucks. Like, we're kind of going up, we're kind of going down, we're just cruising, and then we're supposed to have a sweet downhill, and the downhill is horrible. It's like
survival.
Yeah, it's just survival and chattering, and you're like almost going over the handlebars because your pack's too heavy, and like you're hitting trees, and like you have this image of yourself as a skier, and that does not happen when you're skiing with a 70-pound pack. And so it's kind of like shatters your own confidence, like and the image of yourself that you hold high. Like, you're like, like I kind of look like that old guy that just wiggles my butt when I ski, or doesn't even ski, you just go down sideways.
Yeah.
And then so you want something to pick you up. You want some sweet run or some like amazing sunset. And there were definitely nice sunsets, but there just weren't the amazing runs to pick you up. You had to find other reasons. And that's where your friends come in.
I think like the low point for me was, I was after Black Pole. We got down there in the burn, and I think we had originally planned on going one more ridge, and we're like, we can't do that right now. And just, Black Pole was so hard, and it was expected to be so easy, and for it to be like so difficult, that I definitely like got in my head like, wow, I know there's stuff that I know is going to be hard. And that was easy. That was supposed to be easy. The only thing that I would hope is that other people will like do that same thing, and it doesn't have to be like a ski traverse, but like set goals and rise to the occasion.
It's hard to find a healthy dose of humility, especially in the world we live in, because we have so many reasons to like let our ego take control. But like, you get out there, you're forced to like take not just a sip of humility, but like a full pint glass, like and down it, because you have to tone it down. You're not gonna jump off that sweet cliff. You're not gonna, get rad. You're just like trying to keep it together. It's a good allegory for life, really. Like, if you show up thinking that everything's gonna be really exciting and type 1 fun all the time, then life's gonna be a disappointment to you. Mm-hmm. And like, if you go on a ski trip because you want it to look like a Warren Miller movie every day, like, this is definitely not the trip for you. The places you go, the stories that you tell, the shitty moments that you have, and the bookended good moments that you have, like that's what I think of where the route goes. There's something about it that brings you in there, whether it's the experience or the challenge, or just what the effort that you have to put in. That's where the line on the map is. It's not the physical line on the map, it's the line in your mind. The line in the landscape, or like where you go, I think is insignificant. It's this other experience that happens only in your mind, and it's because you feel small, you feel humble, it tests you. The world that you see outside and like the skills you've learned, they don't necessarily translate to a place like this. You have to find something else, and you don't know what that experience is going to be like until you go there.
The end.